Good morning, all of you. Welcome to our second session, that is management. With we have Dr. Ram Pancharia sir from the BD College of Engineering. And the main purpose of this series is to enhance the academic knowledge of the about the OCM subject. Now let's begin with the Dr. Ram Pancharia sir's lecture. Sir, please start.
Okay. Thank you, Kiran, for inviting me as a guest speaker for the subject Organization of Commerce and Management. I am very much thankful to the principal also, respected Dr. Chavan sir, and for inviting me for this session on principles of management. So, shall I continue the topic?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So we will continue with Organization of Commerce subject, Organization of Commerce and Management. And into this subject, we are going to conduct the session on Principles of Management. So for this particular topic, I have prepared some PPTs, PowerPoint presentation for the students. And through that, we will discuss the Principles of Management. So let me share the presentation first of all. Uh, Now, Kiran madam, my screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we will start with the subject Organization of Commerce and Management. In this subject, we are going to cover Principles of Management topic. So in Principles of Management, first of all, we will discuss the contents to be covered today. In today's session, we are going to cover, we bifurcated this particular part in 7 parts. Like first part is introduction, second one is meaning and definition, third one is nature of principles of management, then significance of management principles, theories of management, Henry Fayol's administrative theory of management, Frederick Taylor's scientific management theory. These topics we are going to cover today in principles of management. So let's start with introduction. Dear students, as we studied in standard 11th about the management, that management is everywhere in any organization, whether it is business organization, non-business organization, or a social life. Management is there, and we can say that management is a key to success of any organization, or we can achieve the goal of the organization with the help of management. In brief, management is a set of strategic goals in accordance with vision and mission of the organization. So first of all, we will discuss the meaning and definition of management principles. While achieving the goal of any individual organization or individual, it is always important to use some set of system or techniques. Means whenever we are uh, planning to achieve the goal of organization or an individual, it requires some set of techniques or set of system. And if this set of techniques or set of system is universally acceptable, it is called as principles. So there are some principles of management which are universally acceptable. So that's why it is called as principles. It provides guideline to the manager to conduct all organizational activities on specific basis. Means what principles is doing, principles of management, it provides the guidelines to the manager how to conduct the organizational activities to achieve the organizational goal, as well as to take the decisions in effective manner. So this is the main thing about principles of management. This is the meaning and definition of principles of management. Now, nature of principles of management, the next part. Management principle has got some nature. It has a form to guide and influence the behavior of the employees. Management principles are formed to guide and influence the behavior of employees of the organization. These principles insist on improving efficiency of organizational resources in terms of profit. Means you can influence, with the help of these principles of management, you can influence the behavior of the employees. So there are certain aspects or nature of principles which are given here. Means with the help of these principles, we can maintain good coordination between supervisors, subordinates, and members of the organization. So there are certain features we can say, or nature of principle of management is: first is universal application. The principles of management, these principles of management are universally acceptable. They are universal in nature. It means that they are applicable to all the organizations irrespective of the size and nature. ये जो principles of management है, ये सभी को applicable है. It is applicable to all organizations, whether the organizations are small in size or large in size. But these principles are applicable to all. It applicable to all the organizations, individuals, even in social life also these principles are applicable. The result may vary, but these are applicable to organization, and according to the requirement of the organization, we can change we can make the changes in the principles of management. Similarly, they are applicable to all levels of management. That's why it is said that principles of management are universal applicable. They are universal in nature. So this is the first nature of principles of management. Second nature of principle of management is general guidelines. It provides general guidelines to the manager to tackle all the organizational situations or to tackle all the organizational problems. Whenever we are running the organization, while functioning in the organization, the manager is facing, or the management is facing day-to-day problems, or they are facing some challenges due to this dynamic environment. And to tackle this situation, to tackle this organizational situation or problems, principles of management provides the set of guidelines. So another nature of principles of management is that it provides general guidelines, which management principles are to be applied depend upon the situation, size, and nature of the organization. For example, we can take the example of like fair remuneration. So fair remuneration is the guideline given by principles of management that proper fair remuneration should be given to the employees as per their nature, size, and financial condition of the organization. So the second feature or nature of principles of management is that is it provides set of general guidelines. Third nature, principles are formed by practice and experiments. Whatever principles of management are there, different principles of management are set. These principles of management are set on the basis of some experiments, observations, and research. At the same time, some practices. These principles are developed or formed by practice, by experiment. This is not done, we cannot say that this is particular theoretical aspect. Just by doing some research work, some practice work, with the help of these experiments, these principles are formed, and that's why these are universally applicable. Means its applicability is there. You can apply in a small organization, big organization, or it is also applicable to individuals as well, because these are formed with the help of some research work, some practices, or some experiments. Fourth nature of principles of management is flexibility. Management principles are very flexible in nature. They are modified according to the situation. हम इसको modify कर सकते हैं. Managers can make modifications into the principles of management depending upon the size of the business, nature of the business, and according to the situation, we can make the changes in the management principle. Right now, we are facing we are going through this pandemic also. So the different organizations are facing different problems because of the lockdown and the pandemic. Their businesses are hampered. But during this particular situation, now this pandemic is an external factor which is not in control of any organization. It is not in the control of government as well. It is not in control of anybody. But organizations are surviving just by making certain changes into their principles of management, whatever principles they are applying. So that's why there is a flexibility, another nature of principles of management. Next nature or feature we can say of principles of management is behavioral in nature. It is behavioral in nature. Management is a group activity. When we are saying that this is related with human being, when we are saying we are applying principles of management, so these principles of management are related to group of human beings. So that's why they are behavioral in nature. Management principles are designed, we can say, influence human beings. These principles control group of persons and direct them to achieve the objective. ये जो principles है, principles of management, what they do, these principles control the group of persons. ये principles group of persons को control करता है. At the same time, it directs to achieve the objective of the organization. That's why these principles are designed to influence human beings. So that's why we can say that management principles are behavioral in nature. This is another feature or nature of business principles of management. Next, cause and effect relationship. Principles of management are base for taking decisions. There is a cause and effect relationship. We can say that these principles has got some cause and at the same time some effect on the output. Suppose we can give more remuneration to the employees, or we are giving incentives to the employees, definitely there will their productivity will increase. For example, if we increase the expenses on advertisement, it has an impact of increasing sales. So that kind of cause and effect relationship is there in principles of management. Principle of managements are based for taking decision. They determine the cause or the reason for particular effect. For example, payment of good wages and incentive, like payment of good wages and incentive helps in increasing the output of the worker. Is it okay? Are you getting it? I hope all of you are getting it.
Yes, sir.
So cause and effect relationship is there in principles of management, another nature. Now next one. Next is all principles are of equal importance. Whatever principles we are going to study in principles of management, all principles are of equal importance. Another nature of principles of management. We cannot give more importance to some principles and we cannot neglect or give less importance to some of the principles of management. These all principles of management are of equal importance. Those are to be practiced simultaneously to get the best result. For example, like we can say management principle are the principle of social sciences. ये जो भी principles हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, principles of management, these are the principles of social sciences. So the nature of principles of management is not absolute like pure sciences. ये pure sciences की तरह absolute नहीं होते. It depend on situation, size of the organization, condition, and that's why they are not as per the pure science like chemistry, mathematics, etc. With some modifications according to the requirement of the organization, we can apply these principles. So these principles should be applied simultaneously to get the best results, and equal importance must be given to all the principles. So these are the 7 natures of principles of management. Dear student, I hope you got the concept of nature of principles of management. We can again revise it from the first. Like, nature of principles of management is they are universally applicable. They provide general guidelines to the manager for operating the business organization. Then principles are formed by practice and experiments. These are formed by systematic observations and research. Flexibility, there is a flexibility in the principles of management. They are flexible in nature. We can change according to the situation, according to the nature and size of the organization. They are behavioral in nature because they are designed to influence human beings. Are you getting it? I hope all of you are getting it. Behavioral in nature means principles of management is created or made for the human beings. They are made for group of human beings. They are made to influence human beings. That's why they are behavioral in nature. There is also another nature of principle of management is that cause and effect relationship. Like principle of remuneration is there. So if you are doing proper or fair remuneration to the employees, definitely you can achieve more productivity. So that we studied. And the last one is all principles are of equal importance. So I hope you understood the concept. Now next one is significance of management principles. Significance of management principle means importance. what is the importance of this particular principles of management? As we discussed in nature of principles of management, it can say that management principles are applicable everywhere. ये जो भी management principles है, they are applicable everywhere, whether it is individual, non-profit organization, profit organization, small organization, big organization, they are applicable everywhere. They are in the form of predetermined solutions for the problems which are recurring. In a organization में day to day organization, when we are working on day to day basis, we are facing certain problems while running the organization. So for these problems, we have some solutions. These solutions are provided by principles of management, and this is a kind of a guide or guideline provided by principles of management to the manager. So that's why it plays very important role in the success of the organization. Therefore, the importance to study the significance or importance of management principles, we have to study this part. This is the first point which is given. Provides useful insights to the manager. As we know, the manager is the head of the organization. He is running the organization with his subordinates. So all the insights are given to the manager. These principles are providing all helpful information to the manager about the understanding of the organization. Like the principles of management helps the manager to understand the organization. The study of the principle helps to improve the understanding of situation and problem. Means a manager can understand what the organization is doing, what is the policy of the organization, and according to that he can understand the situation and the problem of the organization. It helps manager to find out the solution to the problem and handle the situation. Means whatever problems are there or the situation of the organization is there, this can be handled with the help of the principles of management. The use of these principles helps the manager about the manner in which he should act in different situation. Means it provides the guidelines to the manager. ये manager को एक guideline provide करता है कि कौन सी situation में how to handle the situation and how to solve the day-to-day problems of the organization to run the business successfully. So the first importance or significance of principles of management or management principle is provide useful insight to the manager. Next, helpful in efficient utilization of resources. As we know, to run any organization, we need resources. The resources are bifurcated in two parts or two types, like physical resources and human resources. Physical resources like material, machine, and money, and human resources like manpower. The efficient utilization of the resources becomes possible with the help of principles of management. With the help of proper application of principles of management, we can derive the best or optimum utilization, and we can control the wastage of the resources. If organization is successful in utilizing the resources properly in optimum way, definitely it will increase the profitability of the organization. It will increase the quality and productivity of the organization, which will help the organization to earn maximum profit, and it will reduce the wastage also. So that's why another significance of management principles is helpful in efficient utilization of resources. Got it? I hope you are getting the things. Next point is scientific decision. In business organization, a scientific decision means systematic or balanced decision. With the help of principles of management, we can take the scientific decisions. We can take the balanced decision. Principles train the manager to handle the critical situation tactfully and help the manager to take the proper decision in any situation. It helps the manager to analyze the situation and to search the alternatives for the any problem occurring in the organization, or to help the manager to take the to get the solutions for the problems occurring in the organization. So it is another importance of principles of management is that it is helpful in taking scientific decision, because as we know, the principles of management are formed by proper research. As we studied earlier in nature of principles of management, whatever principles are formed, these principles are formed on the basis of some research, on the basis of some experiment, some practices. They are not theoretical in nature, it has got practical application. So as we know that when we are saying that principles of management or management is applicable everywhere, so it has got some scientific importance. So it helps the manager to take the decisions in scientific way, in a balanced way, without having error. Okay, we can take good decisions, manager can take good decisions, manager can take balanced decision with the help of these principles of management. Now next significance is understanding social responsibility. Management principles are also based on every aspect, like we say, they are based on every aspect of organization. They are not only developed to handle the resources properly. जो भी हम principles of management पढ़ रहे हैं, तो ये सिर्फ to take the proper decision or to have the efficient utilization of resources यहाँ तक ही नहीं है. It helps the organization in every aspect. It also helps the organization in understanding the social responsibility of the organization, that the organization, apart from earning profit, apart from being successful in the business, the organization has some social responsibilities. For example, like quality of providing quality product at reasonable prices, avoiding artificial monopolies situation in the market, having fair competition, fair remuneration to the employees, uh, change in environment. It means your business organization should not affect the environment adversely, providing healthy working conditions to the employees. These are the social responsibilities of the organization, and these are also covered by principles of management, we can say. Means the organization can also understand the social responsibility from principles of management. Means apart from earning profit, achieving goal, having success in the business, it also provide the understanding about the social responsibility. It means providing standard raw material, tools and techniques to the employees, providing good working conditions to the employees, providing fair remuneration, fair competition, avoiding artificial monopolistic situation, providing good quality product to the customers at cheaper prices, at reasonable prices. So this is another importance of principles of management. Now next, fifth importance or significance of principles of management is that it encourages research and development. As we discussed earlier, that management principles are developed by practice and research, by observation. Similarly, it encourages research and development, because as we know, they are principles of management are flexible enough in nature. So management adopts, management can change the principles of management according to the situation, size and condition. So management adopt new trends at working place automatically. Means we can say they can make some changes. There is a consistent improvement in them. It enables the manager to make some consistent improvements. So if needed, management can modify the principles according to the situation, as management is having liberty to take decision at their own. Means this training helps in developing scientific approach towards research and development. For the growth and development of the organization, they can make certain changes continuously. So principles of management also encourages research and development. Next significance is helps to coordinate and control. Management principles are the guidelines for we can say better coordination and control. It is very challenging to create coordination and cooperation among the different employees working in different departments. As we know, in organization, group of peoples are working, there are different departments, and number of employees are working. So it is very challenging to maintain a coordination and control amongst them. So principles of management provides the guidelines or the structure where we can coordinate and control the employees in a efficient way. It is also difficult task for manager to keep control on the performance of the employees as well. Means to get the work done through employees is very challenging for the manager. To observe their performance, to control their performance is very challenging for the manager. But with the help of these principles, manager can effectively or efficiently control and coordinate the employees to achieve the goal of the organization. Next, it also develops objective approach, means with the help of principles of management, one can develop objective approach. Managers can identify the business opportunities, and they can also find out the root cause of the problem in correct manner and also provide the appropriate solution. So means here principles of management, they are very objective in approach. We, with the help of principles of management, the manager can identify the different business opportunities they have. They can identify the root cause of the problem. What is the problem? Suppose in organization strike is occurred, so what is the root cause and how that problem can be solved? So that we can identify with the help of these principles of management, and these principles provide best solution to the problems, appropriate solution to solve these problems to the manager. Now theories of management. So as we discussed, these are the 7 significance of management principles. First significance is provide useful insight to the manager. ये मैनेजर को बहुत यूजफुल इनसाइट्स देता है टू रन द बिजनेस, टू हैंडल द सिचुएशन और टू फाइंड द सॉल्यूशन टू द प्रॉब्लम्स ऑकरिंग इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. Then next, second, we studied कि it is helpful in efficient utilization of resources. जो भी resources है, physical resources है, human resources है, all resources can be utilized in efficient manner with the help of these principles. So this is another importance or significance. Helps in taking scientific decisions. Manager can take scientific decision, or we can say balanced decision with the help of principles of management. अंडरस्टैंडिंग सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का सिर्फ अर्निंग प्रॉफिट यही मोटिव नहीं रहता है, तो एट द सेम टाइम दे हैव सम सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज as well. So these social responsibilities can be achieved with the help of principles of management. Means principles of management also gives understanding of social responsibility to the manager. Next is it encourages research and development. As we discussed, that principles of management are formed by research and practice and experiments. So it gives a chance or scope to the management for continuous improvement and continuous upgradation or changes. So this is possible with the help of these principles. Like for example, R&D development are always works on finding new techniques in the field of production, finance, marketing, human resources, etc. So research and development is also one of the importance, that it encourages R&D. It helps in coordinate and control to the employees. Means we can control the employees, coordinate the employees very efficiently with the help of these principles. So this is the 6th importance, that is helps to coordinate and control. Then last one is develop objective approach. Principles of management develops objective approach. It helps in identifying the root cause of the problem, also provides some opportunities to the business organization, identifies different business opportunities, also find out the solution to the problem, what are the different solutions or alternatives available to the problem. So these are also identified. Means this we can say that principles of management is having objective approach rather than subjective. Now theories of management, there are different authors given different theories of management. Next part, that is 1.5 up to 1.4 we covered. Total we are covering 1.7 topics into this particular lecture on principles of management. So out of that we covered 4, that is 1.4 is covered. Now 1.5, theories of management. Management theories are set of general rules that guides the manager to manage an organization. Theories are an explanation to assist employees. Theories ये क्या है, यहाँ दिया है. Like management theories are the set of general rules that guide the manager to manage an organization. Means theories ये क्या होता है, set of general rules, है ना. And theories are the explanation to assist the employees to effectively relate to the business goal, and implement effective means to achieve the same. मतलब बिजनेस गोल इफेक्टिवली हम कैसे अचीव कर सकते हैं, हाउ वी कैन relate our business goal to the business, how we can relate the goal to the business, at the same time how we can implement the activities to achieve that goal also. So these theories are very helpful. So theories is nothing but general rules that guide the manager to manage the business. Various management thinkers have introduced various theories and various different approaches to the management. These thinkers like Frederick Taylor, Elton Mayo, Henry Fayol, etc., has introduced the theories which are based on different approaches. These theories are applicable to all organizations. With appropriate modification, every manager can use these theories by adding some innovative techniques and strategies. It means these old theories are the basis for the modern management theories. Means these are the old theories which are given by Taylor, Elton Mayo, Henry Fayol, and if means the recent management thinkers add some new innovative techniques and strategies to it, and it provides the base to the modern management theories. So here we are going to study some theories of management which are given by different management thinkers. Like first theory, which is covered in 1.6, Henry Fayol's administrative theory of management. So Henry Fayol has given administrative theory of management, and he is a French mining engineer who turned a leading industrialist and a successful manager. He started his career in mining engineering in a French mining company and rose to the position of chief managing director. So he's working there in mining company in French, and he is working at the position of chief managing director. After conducting many experiments and observations in the organization, he conducted various experiments, various observations in the organization where he is working. uh, Henry Fayol has proposed 14 principles, and these 14 principles of management, which are explained in his book, that is General and Industrial Administration. He has published a book, General and Industrial Administration, and in this book he has explained 14 principles of management. And because of his contribution for the development of management thoughts, he is called as father of modern management. He contributed a lot to the field of management, and he has provided us 14 principles of management, and because of that he is called as father of modern management. Now let's discuss 14 principles of management given by Henry Fayol. These are the 14 principles. Like principle of division of work, principle of authority and responsibility, principle of discipline, principle of unity of command, principle of unity of direction, principle of subordination of individual interest to the organizational interest, principle of centralization, principle of remuneration, principle of scalar chain, principle of order, principle of equity, principle of stability of tenure, principle of initiative, principle of esprit de corps, that is principle of teamwork. So these are the 14 principles of management given by Henry Fayol. So this is the introduction about Henry Fayol's administrative theory of management, and these are the 14 principles of Henry Fayol's principles of management theory. So first principle, principle of division of work. Now let's discuss one by one 14 principles of management provided by Henry Fayol. First principle given by Henry Fayol is principle of division of work. According to this principle, work should be divided in different peoples. Means when we are saying that in any organization group of peoples are working, so the work should be divided among the people. मतलब जितने भी लोग काम कर रहे हैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, according to their qualification, according to their skill, according to their ability, according to their qualities, work should be divided amongst the employees. Means proper work should be given to proper person. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे बेसिक डिपार्टमेंट्स होते हैं किसी इन एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट, मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट, एचआर डिपार्टमेंट. तो फॉर फाइनेंस हम किसको सिलेक्ट करेंगे? फॉर फाइनेंस वी नीड एमबीए फाइनेंस और सीए पर्सन इज रिक्वायर्ड. the person who has not did CA cannot handle the finances properly. So means we have to appoint a CA for that post. For marketing we need sales people, and for HR we need HR peoples. For law purpose we need law people. Means we can say for production, for technical work we need engineers. So work should be divided amongst the employees as per their quality and capability. So the first principle means if the organization wants to achieve the goal in efficient way and a proper way, without wastage of time, without wastage of resources, for effective utilization of resources, we have to use uh, the expertise of employees in their field for that particular work. So the division of work is the first principle given by Henry Fayol. Second principle, principle of authority and responsibility. It is said that authority always comes with responsibility. Authority जो है ये हमेशा आपको with responsibility मिलती है. Means if suppose you have got the authority, definitely there is a responsibility. Means the manager should have to means for example we can say manager has a authority in the organization, at the same time manager has a responsibility to complete that task within the given period with the help of his subordinates. So that's why whenever there is authority there is a responsibility. So another principle is हम ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते कि मेरे पास authority है but I don't have any responsibility. When I am saying that I have the authority, at the same time responsibility is there. Authority is the right to take decision. Authority यानी क्या है? ये है right to take decision, but at the same time we have to take the responsibilities as well. जो भी decision हम लेते हैं, it may in good way or bad way. Sometimes we are getting success into that, sometimes we are getting failures. At the same time we have to take the responsibility of the failures as well. So authority always comes with responsibility. If manager is given an authority to complete a task within given time, he should be held responsible if he does not complete the work in given time. अगर आपने वो मैनेजर ने वर्क कंप्लीट नहीं किया है within time, he would be held responsible in that case. So manager should have proper authorities to take managerial decision on his own in respect to the goal. So that's why principle of authority and responsibility is there. Third principle given by Henry Fayol is principle of discipline. I hope all the students getting these points, these principles. The principles are very simple. First principle is principle of division of work. Work divide करना है according to the quality and qualification or the skill of the employees. Second जो हमने पढ़ा principle of authority and responsibility. कि आप if manager has a authority, at the same time there is a responsibility also. Means with authority there is responsibility. Means a particular task he has to complete, and if it is not completed within the given time he will be held responsible. Means this is the second principle given by Henry Fayol. Third principle is principle of discipline. जैसे हम पढ़ रहे हैं ये principles, these principles are developed by Henry Fayol on the observation and practice. With the help of his experience he developed these 14 principles. So these principles are applicable to management as well as the employees also. So for employee, for manager, we can say principle of authority is there, at the same time responsibility also lies there. Next principle is principle of discipline. According to Henry Fayol, discipline is the most essential principle of management. ये मैनेजमेंट का सबसे essential principle है. Why it is most essential principle? Because without a discipline we cannot achieve any goal, we cannot have any success in the organization, and even we cannot implement these principles without discipline. So discipline must be there. Discipline means organization have got some set of rules and regulations. So it is the responsibility of the employees to follow these rules and regulations. जो भी rules regulations है that we have to follow. जैसे कि suppose all of you are studying in college, so college management has decided some rules and regulations for staff members as well as for students. So we have to follow these rules and guidelines. If discipline is not there, you cannot achieve any goal, you cannot get success into your business organization. So good discipline is the result of effective लीडरशिप. अगर आपके यहाँ बहुत अच्छा डिसिप्लिन है, इसका मतलब आपकी लीडरशिप बहुत इफेक्टिव है. You are implementing the things in proper way, so there should be proper discipline, and discipline according to Henry Fayol is one of the most important principle of management. There must be a clear understanding between the management and workers regarding the organizational rules. Basic discipline should be observed at all levels of management. Management का कोई भी level रहो, whether it is top level management, middle level management or lower level, all the basic discipline rules should be followed at all levels. So principle of discipline is one of the important principle given by Henry Fayol. Next, principle of unity of command. As the name indicates, unity of command मतलब कि जहाँ पे हम in organization we have one superior and some subordinates are there. This principles helps in managing conflicts and solving disputes. ये जो principle है ये avoid करता है conflicts को. It also solves dispute, because जो भी subordinates हैं, the subordinates must have to follow the direction given by his superior. So it must be clear for the subordinate about to means whose order should be followed. Means it should be clear to the subordinate that whose order should be followed. So it is possible only when there is a unity of command. ये कब पॉसिबल होगा कि हम किसके ऑर्डर फॉलो करें? जब वहां पे यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड है. इफ देयर इज नो यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड, इन दैट केस देयर विल बी अ कंफ्यूजन अमंग द एम्प्लॉइज टू हुज ऑर्डर टू फॉलो. किसके ऑर्डर फॉलो करने चाहिए? मींस सपोज आई हैव अ टू बॉसेस, सो आई एम इन कंफ्यूजन टू whom आई हैव टू फॉलो. अगर मुझे दो बॉस है, दो बॉस, मुझे एक बॉस अलग डायरेक्शन में बोल रहा है कि यू हैव टू गो इन एक्स डायरेक्शन, and another boss is saying you have to go in y direction, you have to work in y direction. So I got confused. So that's why a unity of command honi chahiye. It is explained with the help of diagram also there. That is, this diagram is given. This is the right approach. This is the right approach. ये जो है ये अप्रोच आपका सही है. यहाँ जो दिया है अप्रोच, आप डायग्राम में अगर देखोगे तो दिस इज व्हाट वी कैन से. This is the right approach and this is the wrong approach. Wrong approach means here we can see there is only one boss. Are you getting it? There is one boss. Here we are observing there are two superiors. दो boss है, दो superior है. और ये जो नीचे green में दिख रहा है, ये जो है, ये यहाँ पे मैं साइड में करता हूँ, ये दिख रहा है आपको red, in red circle it shows superior, in green circles it shows subordinate. तो यहाँ पे हम देख रहे हैं कि there are two superiors and they are giving direction to three subordinates. So here subordinates got confused. यहाँ पे subordinates confused होंगे. There will be a conflict. There will be a dispute among the employees. So each employee should know his immediate superior and should receive order from him only. यानी हर एक सबॉर्डिनेट को अपना इमीडिएट सुपेरियर पता रहना चाहिए और उन्हीं के ऑर्डर उसको फॉलो करने हैं. There should not be any confusion amongst the subordinate that to whom he has to follow. So that's why principle of unity of command is another important principle of management. Fifth principle of management, unity of direction. जैसे हमने बोला unity of command है, वैसे unity of direction भी है. Unity of direction means what? When I'm saying one manager or one superior having single plan, direction should be single. We don't have different directions. Means कोई एक आपका जो मैनेजर है, मैनेजर इज टेलिंग यू डिफरेंट प्लान, मैनेजर ने कुछ और डिफरेंट प्लान बताया है, और मैनेजमेंट जो है ऊपर में वो कुछ अलग डिफरेंट प्लान दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग टू यू. इट मीन्स देयर इज अ कंफ्यूजन अमंग्स द एम्प्लॉय. अगेन देयर इज अ सिचुएशन ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. तो ईच ग्रुप इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन शुड हैव सेम ऑब्जेक्टिव. मतलब हमारा जो भी प्लान रहेगा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, जो भी हम वर्क करते हैं, वी वर्क इन अ टीम, वी वर्क इन ग्रुप. तो जब हम टीम या ग्रुप में वर्क करते हैं तो हमारा जो ऑब्जेक्टिव रहता है, तो जो ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का है वो हम सभी का ऑब्जेक्टिव रहता है. like the objective of your college is to provide quality education to the students. क्वालिटी एजुकेशन आपको प्रोवाइड करना है, ये ऑब्जेक्टिव है। इसी ऑब्जेक्टिव को लेके आपके यहाँ का सारा स्टाफ वर्क करता है। ये जो सीरीज ऑर्गेनाइज की है यहाँ पे कुछ एक्सपर्ट लेक्चर्स की या गेस्ट लेक्चर्स की, दिस इज ऑल्सो द पार्ट ऑफ दैट। सो एवरी इंडिविजुअल, whether it is teaching faculty or non-teaching faculty, they all has to go in one direction, एक यूनिटी ऑफ डायरेक्शन होनी चाहिए। नहीं तो हम लोग, कुछ लोग जो है वो क्वालिटी एजुकेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, कुछ लोग जो है उसको फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो देयर इज नॉट यूनिटी ऑफ डायरेक्शन। सो द प्लान शुड बी क्लियर एंड द प्लान शुड बी कॉमन और सिंगल प्लान शुड बी देयर। वन मैनेजर, सिंपल लाइन में यहाँ पे दिया है, वन मैनेजर यूजिंग सिंगल प्लान। एक तो यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड चाहिए और यूनिटी ऑफ डायरेक्शन भी चाहिए, मतलब प्लान भी उसमें सिंगल चाहिए। इज इट ओके? आई होप इट इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सबऑर्डिनेशन ऑफ इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट। दो इंटरेस्ट रहते हैं, एक इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट और एक रहता है ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट। अब यहाँ पे जो है कि एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं, लाइक ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट क्या है। सपोज द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट ऑफ योर कॉलेज इज टू प्रोवाइड क्वालिटी एजुकेशन टू द स्टूडेंट्स। स्टूडेंट्स को क्वालिटी एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड करना है। मतलब मुझे क्या करना है, सपोज आई एम द पार्ट ऑफ योर कॉलेज, तो मुझे करना क्या है कि मुझे आपको क्वालिटी एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड करना है, मतलब मुझे आपको अच्छे से पढ़ाना है कोई भी टॉपिक। दिस इज माई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। बट मैंने कितना बहुत अच्छा पढ़ा है, तो इसमें कोई, सपोज मैं सैलरी इज फिक्स एंड एवरीथिंग इज फिक्स, तो मुझे कोई ऐसा एडिशनल इंसेंटिव नहीं मिल रहा है, तो मैं वहां ध्यान नहीं दे रहा हूँ एंड आई एम डूइंग सम अदर एक्टिविटीज। मैं कुछ दूसरी एक्टिविटीज कर रहा हूँ, लाइक आई एम डिलीवरिंग द सेशंस इन अदर कॉलेजेस। मैं दूसरे कॉलेजेस में जाके सेशन दे रहा हूँ बिकॉज आई एम गेटिंग सम रेमुनरेशन फ्रॉम देयर। मैं कुछ पब्लिकेशंस कर रहा हूँ रिसर्च के, मैं बहुत काम कर रहा हूँ, मेरा पीएचडी पे, रिसर्च पे, बहुत अलग अलग चीजें कर रहा हूँ, बट आपको पढ़ा नहीं रहा हूँ। मतलब मैंने क्या किया, ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट साइड में रख के मैंने इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट पे फोकस किया है। तो दैट शुड नॉट हैपन। तो इसलिए ये प्रिंसिपल दिया है हेनरी फ्योल ने कि प्रेफरेंस मस्ट बी गिवन टू ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट एंड वी हैव टू गिव अप और सैक्रिफाई अवर इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट इफ वी वांट टू सक्सीड। अगर हमको ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल सक्सेस चाहिए, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का गोल अगर हमको अचीव करना है, तो इट इज सेड दैट द वी हैव टू सबऑर्डिनेट द इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट। मतलब इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट रहना चाहिए बट इट इज सेकेंडरी। प्राइमरी हमारा क्या रहेगा, प्राइमरी रहेगा ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट। तो प्राइमरी में हमको करना क्या है, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे हम लोग देखते हैं, यहाँ एग्जांपल भी दिया है, लाइक क्रिकेट मैचेस चलते हैं, तो इंडिविजुअल स्कोर को कोई इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं है, टीम जीतनी चाहिए, है ना। हम whenever there is a match between two teams, है ना, इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया में मैच है, तो हमारा एम है कि इंडिया की टीम जीतनी चाहिए, ना कि किसी इंडिविजुअल ने 100 स्कोर करना चाहिए। सो इंडिविजुअल स्कोर्स आर सेकेंडरी एंड द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल गोल्स और इंटरेस्ट आर प्राइमरी। दिस इज अनदर प्रिंसिपल। सेवेंथ प्रिंसिपल इज प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सेंट्रलाइजेशन। सेंट्रलाइजेशन का मतलब होता है कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ पावर्स एंड अथॉरिटीज। जो हमारी अथॉरिटीज है, ये जो अथॉरिटीज है, ये अथॉरिटीज का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन या पावर्स का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन मतलब होता है सेंट्रलाइजेशन। तो ये जो है, ये भी हमको एक इंपॉर्टेंट प्रिंसिपल है, डिपेंड अपॉन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रहता है। एंड लाइक सपोज सेंट्रलाइजेशन ऑफ कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ पावर एंड अथॉरिटीज, मतलब कुछ लोगों को, एक या कुछ लोगों के हाथ में सारे पावर्स रहते हैं, दे हैव गॉट द पावर टू टेक द डिसीजन फॉर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। बट दिस इज पॉसिबल इन केस ऑफ स्मॉल साइज ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। ये कहाँ पॉसिबल है कि स्मॉल साइज ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है तो पॉसिबल होता है। एंड लार्ज स्केल ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, बिग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अगर है, तो देयर वी हैव टू फॉलो द डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन ऑफ द अथॉरिटी। वहां पे हमको थोड़ा डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन करना पड़ता है, मींस वी हैव टू गिव अथॉरिटी टू मोर पीपल्स। So principle of centralization is one of the principle given by Henry Fayol, seventh principle. So principle of centralization is there, means giving concept, means we can say that giving power to some one or few hands to take some decisions. Some powers are given or authorities are given to few peoples or one of the individual. So this is called as principle of centralization. In case of big organization, we have to go for decentralization. प्रिंसिपल ऑफ रेम्यूनरेशन, एज द नेम इंडिकेट्स, जैसे कि हमने अभी पढ़ा है, कि ये भी ये जैसे मैंने बोला कि ये जो भी प्रिंसिपल्स है, तो कुछ प्रिंसिपल्स सर हेनरी फेयोल ने एम्प्लॉयज के लिए दिया है, एम्प्लॉयज के फेवर में है, कुछ फॉर देयर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है, और कुछ उनके रिवॉर्ड्स को लेके है। जैसे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज को लेके क्या क्या पढ़ा था हमने कि डिसिप्लिन रहना चाहिए, ये उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है एम्प्लॉयज की। जैसे कि हमने पढ़ा है एक इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट जो है उसको सबऑर्डिनेट करना है, ये एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है एम्प्लॉयज की। रिवॉर्ड क्या है फिर इसका? ये सारी चीजें अगर हम करते हैं, इफ एम्प्लॉयज प्रोवाइडिंग गुड क्वालिटी सर्विसेज टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए क्वालिटी सर्विसेज दे रहा है, इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट को सैक्रिफाई कर रहा है, गिविंग इंपॉर्टेंस टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल गोल और ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट, तो फिर यहाँ पे और एक प्रिंसिपल है, दैट इज प्रिंसिपल ऑफ रेम्युनरेशन। प्रिंसिपल ऑफ रेम्युनरेशन मींस प्रॉपर रेम्युनरेशन मस्ट बी गिवन टू द एम्प्लॉइज। फेयर रेम्युनरेशन हम लोग बोल सकते हैं, प्रॉपर का मतलब है फेयर रेम्युनरेशन मस्ट बी गिवन टू द एम्प्लॉइज। इफ फेयर रेम्युनरेशन एंड एज पर द रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस, जो भी रूल्स रेगुलेशंस है उसी हिसाब से फेयर रेम्युनरेशन मिलना चाहिए। So this remuneration will depend on skill, expertise, knowledge, tenure, cost of living, market trend, profitability of the organization। बहुत सारे considerations है जिस पे remuneration depend करता है। उसमें है skill of employee, उसका expertise कितना है, knowledge कितना है, उसका tenure कितना हुआ, experience कितना है, उसका cost of living कितना है, ये सारी चीजें, profitability कितनी है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की। नहीं तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को कोई प्रॉफिट ही नहीं है और हम बहुत ज्यादा सैलरी दिए जा रहे हैं एम्प्लॉइज को। So in that case, as we know, the salary plays important component of the cost of production। जो भी सैलरी वेजेस हम दे रहे हैं ये एक important पार्ट है कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन का। हम बहुत ज्यादा सैलरी दे रहे हैं, बहुत ज्यादा वेजेस दे रहे हैं, तो डेफिनेटली योर कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन विल राइज, so your price will increase, your profitability will reduce, your sales will reduce। ये सारे बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम भी आ सकते हैं। तो डिपेंडिंग ऑन द प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, considering all the situation, like skill, expertise, we have to decide or give the proper remuneration to the employees। Otherwise the employee will not stay with your organization and the problem of attrition will occur। एक attrition होता है जिसमें employees छोड़ के जाते हैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को, 2 साल 3 साल काम करेंगे आपके साथ, साल 2 साल काम करके आपका ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को छोड़ देंगे। अगेन वी हैव टू रिक्रूट द पीपल, नए लोगों को लेना पड़ेगा, उनको ट्रेन करना पड़ेगा, एंड आफ्टर गिविंग देम ट्रेनिंग वी हैव टू we have to waste the time into that also, and it will increase your cost as well। So principle of remuneration must be followed properly in the organization to satisfy the employees financially and to retain them with the organization for longer period। So this is the principle of remuneration। Next, principle of scalar chain। Principle of scalar chain means proper hierarchy should be maintained। हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में हायरार्की रहती है, like XYZ, like X is working on top level, Y is working on middle level, and Z is working at lower level, so that hierarchy should be maintained। Means the information or the order or the communication or the direction we can say should follow in proper way। Means from there should not be any we can say destruction of the chain, so that chain should be followed properly। It is given here, scalar chain means hierarchy of authority from top level to the lower level for the purpose of communication। If the hierarchy is not maintained, in that case the working environment is not healthy, and we can say that disputes will be created between the employees। कि हम कोई मतलब टॉप लेवल मैनेजर है और डायरेक्टली इंफॉर्मेशन लोअर लेवल पे पता है, मिडिल लेवल पे पता ही नहीं है कि what we have to do and what are the new directions, in which direction we have to work। So it will create some dispute among the employees। So एक हायरार्की होती है वो फॉलो होनी चाहिए। that chain is called as scalar chain, which is also expressed here given here in the form of diagram। ये एक डायग्राम दी है यहाँ पे, ये हम देख रहे हैं ब्लू लाइन DCBAEFG, तो ये एरो दिख रहे हैं यहाँ पे, तो मतलब द डायरेक्शन शुड फॉलो फ्रॉम D to C, means the direction are given from D to C, then to B, then it is transferred to A, E, F, G। So this chain which is given in blue line is called as scalar chain, and this yellow line shows gangplank. Now the situation is very dynamic. हम देख रहे हैं कि डे बाय डे कंपटीशन बढ़ रही है, सिचुएशन बहुत डायनामिक हो रहा है. तो ट्रेडिशनली ये स्केलर चेन चलता था कि जहाँ पे वी हैव टू फॉलो ऑल द मींस लेवल्स, means the information or the direction will follow from top level to lower level, means there is a chain. Okay, and that chain is also very lengthy, that is we have to follow that direction or decision from functional manager, then function general manager has to follow. For example दिया भी है यहाँ पे कि general manager has to inform to the functional manager, then functional manager will pass to the supervisor, and then supervisor will pass the information to foreman and so on. ऐसे लेवल ऑफ अथॉरिटी रहती है, इससे हम फॉलो करते हैं. ट्रेडिशनली ये होता भी था, आज भी होता है, बट इन सम ऑफ द सिचुएशन वेयर वी नीड क्विक डिसीजंस, हमको क्विक डिसीजंस लेने हैं, तो इन दैट केस हमको क्या करना पड़ता है, वी हैव टू डू डायरेक्ट कम्युनिकेशन, मींस वी हैव टू अवॉइड द चेन. कहीं ना कहीं हमको चेन अवॉइड करके डायरेक्ट कम्युनिकेशन करना पड़ता है, जैसे डी और जी में हुआ है डायरेक्ट. एक्चुअल में कम्युनिकेशन का जो स्केलर चेन है वो कैसा है, डी सी बी ए ई एफ जी ऐसे आएगा. बट in some of the cases D can directly communicate to G. Since the situation is dynamic or changing, fast decision we have to take, तो DG जो है D will directly communicate to G, but with proper permission of the authorities. वो necessary है, मतलब वहां पे हमको डायरेक्ट कम्युनिकेशन के लिए कुछ प्रॉपर अथॉरिटीज जो है उनकी भी परमिशन लगेगी. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज गैंग प्लैंक. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज गैंग प्लैंक which is given in yellow line. So this is the diagram which indicates the principle of scalar chain. तो आपको ये एक प्रिंसिपल दिया है हेनरी फ्योल में, that this principle, as per this principle, that the communication or the direction or the decision should follow in proper chain from top level to lower level. एक हायरार्की होती है, वो हायरार्की में फॉलो होनी चाहिए. इवन जो लोअर लेवल टू टॉप लेवल भी जो इंफॉर्मेशन जानी है वो हायरार्की थ्रू ही जानी चाहिए. लोअर लेवल एकदम डायरेक्टली कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन टॉप लेवल पे ना दे. देयर शुड बी अ प्रॉपर हायरार्की दैट शुड बी मेंटेन. This is another principle given by Henry Fayol. Next principle, 10th, he has given 14 principles. So we covered 9 principles. Now principle of order. This principle is based on a place for everything and everything in its place. Principle of order का मतलब है human resources and material should be in right place. यहाँ पे दिया है कि proper order में place होना चाहिए. Right, whatever human resources are there or material is there, it should be placed in right place. Means or at and right time for maximum efficiency. Means right person to right job. जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि right person right job पे रहना चाहिए. For optimum utilization of resources, हम पढ़ चुके हैं इसके पहले भी, that for optimum utilization of resources, again I repeat, for optimum utilization of resources, we have to place right person at right job. We have to place right material at right place at right time. ठीक है, टाइम जाने के बाद अगर हम वो मटेरियल प्रोवाइड करते हैं, दैट इज यूजलेस देन. सो दैट्स व्हाई फॉर एट राइट टाइम we have to provide human resources or materials. So at right place we have to provide whatever human resource or material is there. So this principle focuses on proper utilization of physical and human resources. So ये है principle of order. Next है principle of equity. Principle of equity means management should be fair with all the subordinates. जो भी management है, management ने सभी employees के साथ fair रहना चाहिए, and all the employees should be treated equally. सभी employees जो है उनको equally treat करना चाहिए. That is delegating the authorities, deciding the monetary terms, जैसे salary या wages, हम remuneration decide कर रहे हैं workers का, तो workers का salary remuneration उनके designation से होना चाहिए, ना कि उनके department से होना चाहिए कि वो कहाँ work कर रहे हैं. If two employees working on same designation, it means they should get same remuneration. उनको remuneration भी same मिलना चाहिए. So that is the principle of इक्विटी, जैसे वर्किंग कंडीशंस है तो सारे एम्प्लॉयज को प्रॉपर वर्किंग कंडीशन मिलनी चाहिए, इक्वल वर्किंग कंडीशंस मिलनी चाहिए। तो कुछ लोगों को हम फेवर कर रहे हैं, अच्छा वर्किंग कंडीशन प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, कुछ एम्प्लॉयज को हम प्रॉपर वर्किंग कंडीशन प्रोवाइड नहीं कर रहे हैं। So that kind of we can say partiality should not be there. So principle of equity is there, another principle given by Henry Fayol, that is principle of equity. I hope you got the concept of principle of equity. Now principle, it is very simple as the name indicates कि equal treat करना है हमको. The employees working in the department or the organization should be paid proper wages, fair wages, equal wages as per their position and their designation. The equity help in avoiding conflicts. एक conflict नहीं होते organization में, यहाँ लिखा है this equity will help in avoiding conflicts. Otherwise हम लोग देखते हैं कि फिर then there is a conflict in the organizations, disputes are there, strikes are there, then it will hamper the productivity, it will hamper the organizational efficiency. So next principle is principle of stability of tenure. जैसे ही हम लोग एम्प्लॉयज को रिक्रूट करते हैं, सो अनदर प्रिंसिपल अगेन इट इज इन द फेवर ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज दैट स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ टेनर शुड बी देयर. जैसे हमने एम्प्लॉयज को रिक्रूट किया है तो उनके टेनर का भी एक कुछ स्टेबिलिटी रहना चाहिए. देयर शुड बी अ जॉब सिक्योरिटी वी कैन से, अदरवाइज दैट द बिलोंगिंगनेस इज नॉट क्रिएटेड अमंग्स द एम्प्लॉयज. एम्प्लॉयज में वो बिलोंगिंगनेस क्रिएट नहीं होगा. अगर एम्प्लॉयज में जॉब सिक्योरिटी नहीं है तो in that case it will adversely affect the productivity or the efficiency of the employee. एम्प्लॉय की कहीं ना कहीं efficiency भी affect होती है and वो belongingness organization के बारे में नहीं रहता है. उनको पता है कि I am temporary here, आज हूँ कल मुझे जाना पड़ेगा या मैं नहीं रहूंगा, या फिर or he is searching for some other options, so he will not work in that way. So that's why principle of stability of tenure should be there. Means employee after screening, after recruitment, means when you are taking interviews and all, रिक्रूटमेंट प्रोसेस फॉलो हो रही है, सारी प्रोसेस देखी गई है, क्वालिफिकेशन देखा गया है, वर्क देखा गया है, एक्सपीरियंस देखा गया है, उनका वर्किंग देखा गया है. तो आफ्टर लुकिंग इनटू ऑल दिस थिंग्स you should have to means management should have to give some stability of the tenure to the employees so that the belongingness amongst the employee was created and the problem of that attrition will be reduced and the efficiency and the productivity of employees will be increased. Is it clear? I hope it is clear to all of you. Now next one is 13th point, 13th principle of management, which is given by Henry Fayol, that is principle of initiative. ये अगेन एम्प्लॉय के पार्ट पे है कि एक प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इनिशिएटिव रहना चाहिए अमंग्स द एम्प्लॉयज, दैट दे शुड बी वॉलंटरीली दे शुड वर्क. मतलब कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आपको टास्क दे रहा है, मैनेजर इज गिविंग टास्क टू द एम्प्लॉय और द मैनेजमेंट दे आर गिविंग टास्क टू द एम्प्लॉय, सो द एम्प्लॉयज मस्ट बी इनोवेटिव, दे शुड टेक इनिशिएटिव इन वर्किंग. जो भी वर्किंग वो कर रहे हैं, लाइक सपोज इन योर कॉलेज द लेक्चरर्स आर वर्किंग, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स आर वर्किंग, so they must be innovative, always innovative. जैसे कि अब now there is a pandemic, physical classes are not possible. हम देख रहे हैं कि physical classes possible नहीं है, students college नहीं आ सकते, direct contact we have to avoid. So in that case what we are doing, we are providing education on this platform, online platform. We are providing the education, we are recording the lectures, we are providing recorded lectures to the students. So voluntarily the staff members are working in innovative way, so that freedom is given to that freedom must be given to them so that they can think about new ideas, innovative ideas, and they can work in a proper way. So this initiative should be welcomed by the manager, including thorough discussion on those new ideas. It also help in creating healthy organizational culture. इससे क्या होता है, एक healthy organizational culture होता है. Means there should be like हम बोल सकते हैं कि we have to take the involvement of all the employees. Participative management होना चाहिए, सभी के ideas वहाँ आने चाहिए, और एक proper employees should take initiative into that when you are getting such kind of environment in the organization, and they have to work in innovative way and voluntarily. So that is another principle given by Henry Fayol, that is principle of initiative. And the last principle is principle of esprit de corps. that is principle of teamwork. तो जब whenever we are talking about organization, तो organization किसी individual का नहीं होता है, organization is of group of peoples. So all this group of peoples must have to work in team. There should be teamwork. Agar means again, that's why Henry Fayol has given emphasis or importance to teamwork, that esprit de corps means union is the strength. Union जो है, team जो है, team is the strength. Running any organization is a group activity. कोई भी organization को run अगर करना है तो एक ग्रुप एक्टिविटी इज रिक्वायर्ड. जैसे हम आज लेक्चर भी ले रहे हैं तो एक ग्रुप एक्टिविटी है. यहाँ पे इंडिविजुअल के लिए सारी चीजें पॉसिबल नहीं होती है. जैसे कॉलेज से हम लोग क्लास ले रहे हैं तो वी नीड सपोर्टिंग स्टाफ एज वेल. Teaching staff is there, non-teaching staff is there. Everybody is contributing from their point of view. So everybody is contributing from top level to lower level. So there should be a principle of teamwork. All the employees working in the organization should work in a team, should work in a union with mutual trust. If they are working in team, definitely all the difficulties, all the problems will be solved quickly. जैसे कि फॉर दिस टुडेज लेक्चर किरण मैडम हैज अरेंज्ड द लेक्चर. अब ये लेक्चर अरेंज करते वक्त शी वांटेड टेक्निकल सपोर्ट एज वेल. अगर वो टेक्निकल सपोर्ट उनको नहीं मिलता तो शायद ये लेक्चर ऑर्गेनाइज करने में थोड़ी डिफिकल्टी होती. वही अगर टेक्निकल सपोर्ट वहां आ जाता है, टेक्निकल सपोर्ट उनको मिलता है, नॉन टीचिंग स्टाफ का भी सपोर्ट मिलता है, इन दैट केस दिस लेक्चर विल बी अरेंज इन अ क्विक मैनर. So that's why this is another principle of management which is given by Henry Fayol, that is principle of esprit de corps, that is principle of teamwork. So these are the 14 principles which we studied. Again I revised this 14. I hope you understood all the 14 principles given by Henry Fayol. सभी आपको 14 principles समझ में आए होंगे and simple है, easily we can understand, easily we can study the principles. इजीली हम इसको ध्यान में रख सकते हैं. बहुत ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट नहीं है. डे टू डे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में या डे टू डे मैनेजमेंट में जो प्रिंसिपल्स लगते हैं, हम जो देखते हैं वही प्रिंसिपल्स यहाँ दिए हैं. नया कुछ भी नहीं है. जैसे हम देख रहे हैं कि जो हेनरी फेयोल है, बाय हिज ऑब्जर्वेशन, बाय हिज एक्सपीरियंस वर्किंग एज अ चीफ मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर, he has given these 14 principles, and because of his contribution he is treated as, or he is called as फादर ऑफ मॉडर्न मैनेजमेंट. तो ये सिंपल 14 प्रिंसिपल्स हमने पढ़े. दैट इज प्रिंसिपल ऑफ डिवीजन ऑफ वर्क, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ अथॉरिटी एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. जैसे पहला था डिवीजन ऑफ वर्क में क्या था, वर्क शुड बी डिवाइडेड इन डिफरेंट एम्प्लॉइज. जो एम्प्लॉइज है एज पर देयर क्वालिटीज एंड कैपेबिलिटीज वर्क शुड बी डिवाइडेड. प्रिंसिपल ऑफ अथॉरिटी एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ डिसिप्लिन, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ यूनिटी ऑफ डायरेक्शन. यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड भी रहने चाहिए, मतलब हर सबऑर्डिनेट को एक सुपेरियर रहना चाहिए. ही मस्ट बी क्लियर अबाउट हिज सुपेरियर एंड द प्लान शुड बी क्लियर टू एवरीवन. मींस द ऑब्जेक्टिव शुड बी कॉमन. हर एक का अलग अलग ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं रहना चाहिए. तो यूनिटी ऑफ डायरेक्शन शुड बी सेम. देन प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सबऑर्डिनेशन ऑफ इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट. मतलब हमारा जो इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट है उसके ऊपर रहना चाहिए ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट. मींस प्राइमरी इंपॉर्टेंस शुड बी गिवन टू ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इंटरेस्ट and the individual interest is secondary. Principle of centralization, principle of remuneration. Proper remuneration must be given to the employees as per their skill, knowledge, experience. Principle of scalar chain means a proper hierarchy should be followed. Principle of order, principle of equity, principle of stability of tenure, principle of initiative, and principle of esprit de corps, that is principle of teamwork. So these are the 14 principles given by Henry Fayol by his experience and his observation. Now next theory, we are going to study next theory. So this is the first theory given by Henry Fayol, and because of his 14 principle, his contribution to the management, he is called as father of modern management. Now next theory, that is Frederick Taylor's scientific management theory. So next theory and the last part of today's session, that is Frederick Taylor's scientific management theory. Taylor was an American who started his career as a machinist in Midwell Steelworks, and he has given some scientific management approaches. He also worked on the position of chief engineer. He introduced his observation and experiments based on scientific data. He collected some scientific data, and on the basis of this scientific data, he contributed his experience towards management, which is termed as scientific management. His approach is called as scientific management. For this contribution in the development of management thought, he is also known as father of scientific management. Means on the basis of scientific data, he collected some scientific data. On the basis of this scientific data, on the basis of this observation and experiment, he has given some management thoughts, management concepts. These management concepts are termed as scientific management, and because of his contribution towards the development of management thoughts, he is also called as or known as father of scientific management. Taylor's management theory is based on scientific management, which is covered here. As per Taylor, problem should be solved by scientific techniques rather than rule of thumb और ट्रायल एरर अप्रोच. कि कोई भी प्रॉब्लम जो है ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल प्रॉब्लम, इट इज solved by some scientific techniques. He has developed some scientific techniques, and by using these scientific techniques we can solve any problem in effective way, in proper way. Means rather using rule of thumb or a trial error approach. In trial error approach there is a wastage of time, wastage of energy, so some scientific techniques are given by Frederick Taylor. As per Frederick Taylor, scientific management consists of knowing what management want men to do exactly. Management जो है वो क्या expect करता है from the employees, what management want men to do exactly, and seeing that they do it in best and cheapest manner. So एक scientific management theory दी है Frederick Taylor ने कि what management is expecting from their employees, what management want men to do exactly, and seeing that they are do it in the best and cheapest manner. At the same time उसको observe भी करना है कि whether they are doing it in the best and cheapest manner, यानी efficiently उसको कर रहे हैं, effectively और efficiently उसको कर रहे हैं या नहीं, that we have to observe. So this is called as scientific management. Means the management must be clear what men do exactly, and seeing it that they do it in best and cheapest manner. So the principle of scientific management, there are some principles of scientific management, that is it is science, not the rule of thumb. ये एक साइंस है. प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ साइंटिफिक मैनेजमेंट में पहला प्रिंसिपल जो दिया है साइंटिफिक मैनेजमेंट का वो है कि फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल इज इट इज साइंस नॉट रूल ऑफ थंब. कि in order to increase organizational efficiency, rule of thumb method should be substituted. ये जो पुराना मेथड था रूल ऑफ थंब की, कोई थ्योरी दी है, कोई कंसेप्ट दी है, वो कंसेप्ट को हमको फॉलो करना है, that should be substituted, and new technique, that is scientific analysis of the work should be done. Rule of thumb decisions are based on personal judgments. कि एक personal judgments रहते हैं कि हमने इस सिचुएशन में ऐसा करना चाहिए. एक इंडिविजुअल के कुछ डिसीजंस रहते हैं या थॉट्स रहते हैं, एंड देन इट चेंजेस फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. सो टू अवॉइड दैट सम साइंटिफिक रूल्स आर गिवन. टेलर इंस्टिट्यूटेड अमॉन, टेलर ने जो है सबसे पहले एम्फेसिस या इंसिस्ट किस चीज को किया है, साइंटिफिक मेथड फॉर एवरी स्मॉल वर्क. हर एक वर्क के लिए एक साइंटिफिक मेथड दी है. दिस प्रिंसिपल इज कंसर्न विद सिलेक्टिंग द बेस्ट वे ऑफ परफॉर्मिंग अ जॉब after scientific analysis. Means you have to do scientific analysis of the job, scientific analysis of the problem, not to do any trial error methods. According to Taylor, even a small production activity like loading iron sheets into box cars can be scientifically planned. हर एक चीज scientifically plan होनी चाहिए. Like suppose मैं एक चीज ट्रांसफर करता हूँ, means suppose I am transferring one material from one place to another place, so how much time it takes, and एक scientifically वो रहना चाहिए कि ये मटेरियल x प्लेस से y प्लेस पे ले जाने को कितना समय लगता है, कितना समय लगता है, तो how we can reduce this time, है ना, हम इसको किस तरह से कर रहे हैं और किस तरह से करना चाहिए. So that kind of scientific technique is adopted and or developed by Frederick Taylor. It is not based on trial and error. So the first principle of scientific management is that scientific management is a science, not a rule of thumb. मतलब कुछ scientific techniques वहां पे apply करनी है हमको management में. Harmony, not discord, another principle. According to this principle, there should be harmony between the employees and management. Management और employees में जो है harmony रहनी चाहिए. There should not be any discord amongst the management and employees. There should be proper coordination between employees and management to minimize the conflicts between them. किसी प्रकार का conflict नहीं होना चाहिए. There should be perfect understanding between employees and management by creating healthy work environment in the organization. यानी management और employees में एक healthy relationship रहनी चाहिए. There should be healthy work environment which will help in achieving the desired goal. So the another principle of scientific management कि कोई भी चीज, कोई भी डिसीजन अगर हम लेते हैं, मैनेजमेंट कोई डिसीजन लेता है और वो साइंटिफिक बेसिस पे लेता है, मतलब ट्रायल एरर बेसिस पे नहीं है, उसके पीछे कुछ लॉजिक है, कोई कंसेप्ट्स है, और वो कंसेप्ट लेके अगर वो करते हैं तो हार्मोनी इज मेंटेन इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. जैसे मैंने बोला कि लाइक रेम्यूनरेशन, सेम प्रिंसिपल हेनरी फ्योल ने भी दिया है, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ रेम्यूनरेशन. तो रेम्यूनरेशन डिसाइड करते वक्त हमने क्या बोला है, कुछ पैरामीटर्स होंगे. रेम्यूनरेशन किसके बेसिस पे होगा, तो क्वालिटी, उसका डेजिग्नेशन क्या है एम्प्लॉय का, उसका क्वालिफिकेशन क्या है, कैपेबिलिटीज क्या है, अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट रेम्यूनरेशन विल बी डिसाइडेड. अगर ये सारे रूल्स हम फॉलो नहीं करते, सेम डेजिग्नेशन पे दो लोगों को अलग अलग रेम्यूनरेशन या वेजेस हम लोग दे रहे हैं, व्हाट विल हैपन, इट विल क्रिएट डिस्प्यूट अमंग management and employees. Conflicts create होंगे. So to avoid that conflict, the management has to apply the scientific techniques for taking the decision. So that another principle of scientific management is principle of harmony and discord, not discord. Next, third principle of scientific management is mental revolution. Mental revolution, there should be mental revolution amongst the employees and management. Management और employee के attitude में there should be change. Revolution must be there. Both should be realize their importance. यानी एक mental revolution आना चाहिए मैनेजमेंट के thought process में और employees के thought process में. The change should be there. Means both should consider that both are equally important. मैनेजमेंट ने ये सोचना चाहिए कि द एम्प्लॉइज आर इम्पोर्टेंट, मतलब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ये एम्प्लॉइज की वजह से, और एम्प्लॉइज ने ये सोचना चाहिए कि द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज देयर बिकॉज ऑफ मैनेजमेंट. मींस बोथ आर इक्वली इम्पोर्टेंट इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. मतलब अगर हम ऐसा सोचते, एम्प्लॉय अगर ऐसा सोचते कि हमारे वजह से ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, कोई एक इंडिविजुअल, मैं अगर सोचता हूँ कि मेरे वजह से मेरा इंस्टीट्यूशन है, तो कोई भी व्यक्ति व्यवस्था से बड़ा नहीं होता. ऐसा नहीं है, मैंने मैनेजमेंट को भी उतना ही इंपॉर्टेंस देना चाहिए कि बिकॉज ऑफ देम द इंस्टीट्यूशन इज देयर, इंस्टीट्यूशन है इसलिए मैं हूँ, मतलब ये सारा चीजें रहनी चाहिए. सिमिलरली मैनेजमेंट ने भी उतना ही इंपॉर्टेंस एम्प्लॉइज को देना चाहिए. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ मेंटल रिवॉल्यूशन, मैनेजमेंट ने भी ये थॉट प्रोसेस नहीं रखना चाहिए कि मेरे वजह से इंस्टीट्यूशन है और इंस्टीट्यूशन की वजह से ये लोग हैं, एम्प्लॉइज है. ऐसा नहीं होता है. He should also, management should also consider the employees equally important. So this will increase the productivity and profit of the organization. So that mental revolution must be there. So another principle of scientific management is that mental revolution. Cooperation and not individualism. वहां पे हमने पढ़ा था कि मतलब यूनिटी रहनी चाहिए, है ना. तो वैसे ही यहाँ पे यूनिटी की जगह यहाँ पे दिया है, वहां पे हमने पढ़ा था प्रिंसिपल ऑफ यूनिटी रहनी चाहिए, ग्रुप में रहना चाहिए. तो जैसे हमने देखा कि इन एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल्स आर वर्किंग, सो देयर शुड बी कोऑपरेशन. देयर शुड बी कोऑपरेशन अमंग्स द employees as well as there should be cooperation, trust between management and employees as well. Due to cooperation, trust and team spirit, internal competition will turn into the healthy working environment. मतलब internally कोई competition नहीं रहना चाहिए amongst the employees. किसी एक दूसरे को हम नीचा दिखा रहे हैं या हम ऊपर उठ रहे हैं, या फिर मैनेजमेंट को हम कहीं तो भी कम दिखा रहे हैं. there should not be such kind of environment in the organization. There should be a healthy environment. There should be trust, team spirit in the organization. At the same time, employees should resist themselves from going for strike and making unnecessary demands from the management. कि हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को अननेसेसरी डिमांड ना करें, जबकि हमको पता है कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सपोज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी उतना नहीं है, तो वी शुड नॉट डिमांड फॉर हायर सैलरीज और समथिंग एल्स. लाइक अननेसेसरी डिमांड्स नहीं होनी चाहिए. हाँ, अगर वहां पे पोजीशन है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का, एंड इफ organization in the capacity to give that, in that case you can demand, but unnecessary demand should be avoided. Unnecessary strike should be avoided. एंड एट द सेम टाइम एम्प्लॉयर्स जो है उन्होंने एम्प्लॉयज को इंटरनल एक पार्ट समझना चाहिए ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का. दे शुड treat each other, means employer as well as employee, they should treat each other as two pillars of the organization. So there should be cooperation between management and employees. There should be a team spirit, not individual approach. डिवीजन ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वहां पे हमने पढ़ा था, डिवीजन ऑफ वर्क यहाँ पे हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं डिवीजन ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. जो भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है वो प्रॉपरली डिवाइड रहने चाहिए. मेजर प्लानिंग इज डन बाय द टॉप लेवल, मिडिल लेवल मैनेजमेंट, एंड एग्जीक्यूशन मस्ट बी डन बाय द एम्प्लॉइज. जो भी प्लानिंग होता है वो टॉप लेवल पे होता है, मिडिल लेवल मैनेजमेंट पे होता है, और उसका एग्जीक्यूशन जो है वो बॉटम लेवल पे किया जाता है, लोअर लेवल पे. दैट इज एम्प्लॉइज शुड कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन द एग्जीक्यूशन. Top level management should concentrate on the planning portion. So the responsibility, division of responsibility must be there. The reporting is done as per the instruction given by the superiors. जो भी superiors है, employees को time by time some directions are given from superiors to the subordinates. So the subordinate has to follow the instructions given by the superior, and at the same time they have to report about their work. It helps for best performance of the managers as well as the employee. I hope you got the concept of division of responsibility. It is somewhat similar to the division of work also. यहाँ पे responsibility हम share करने की बात कर रहे हैं in the chain of management, that is top level, middle level and lower level management. Responsibility should be shared properly. Next point, next principle, last principle, that is the development of employer and employee for greater efficiency and maximum prosperity. तो development यानी क्या? Proper training should be given to the employees. हम देख रहे हैं time is changing, expectations of the market is changing, expectation of customers are changing. So for that we have to provide them good quality services or products, and for that we need to train employees. So training and development programs must be organized for the employees. Proper training must be given to them. Ultimately it helps in increasing the profitability of the organization. कि अगर if the employees are trained properly and if they are working efficiently, definitely it will reduce the cost of production and the profitability will increase. Similarly, training should be required at the employer side also. New techniques are coming, new things are coming in the market, so the employer must be aware about the recent trends, recent things going in the market. So development of employer and employee for greater efficiency and maximum prosperity. So these are the 6 principles of scientific management. ये हमने 6 principles पढ़े scientific management के. That is, first one is science, not rule of thumb. That scientific management is a science, not rule of thumb, because it based on some scientific analysis and scientific techniques. There should be harmony, not discord. वहां पे किसी प्रकार का कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट या डिस्प्यूट नहीं रहना चाहिए amongst the management and employees. There should be harmony. Mental revolution आना चाहिए, means employer and employee are both are equally important, and this thought process will increase the profitability of the organization. Cooperation and not individualism. That कि एम्प्लॉई ने या फिर एम्प्लॉयर ने ऐसा नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि it is the organization is because of that individual or by some of the person. Both are the pillars of the organization. Means management as well as employees are the pillars of the 2 pillars of the organization. Division of responsibility must be there. Planning should be done by top level, middle level, and proper execution should be done by the lower level employees. They should concentrate on the execution part. So proper bifurcation or division of responsibility should be there. And the last principle is development of employer and employee for greater efficiency and maximum prosperity. Proper training should be there for the employees whenever it is required and whenever it is essential. And proper training helps in maximum efficiency and maximum prosperity, which will help to increase the profitability of the organization. Now, techniques. I hope you understood the principles of scientific management. Now we will discuss techniques of scientific management. Some of the major techniques of scientific management are as follows. First technique is work study. Before assigning the work to the available works for, proper work study should be done by the management. Management ने क्या करना चाहिए? Proper work study करनी चाहिए. Work study consists of organized, systematic and critical assessment of various activities and functions. जो भी work assign होता है to the employees, management must analyze that work. That work study consists of an organized, systematic and critical assessment of the activities or the functions in the work. Work study is based on the techniques such as time study, motion study, method study and fatigue study. So पहले हम लोग पढ़ेंगे इसमें time study. Time study is पहला जो पार्ट दिया है in work study, that is time study. It is the technique of observing and recording the time taken by the employee to complete the given task. यानी कोई भी given task जो है उसको कितना टाइम लग रहा है, that time should be observed and recorded properly. With the help of time study, the precise time required for each element of work is determined. यानी हम define कर सकते हैं कि किसी भी work को, suppose if we want to transfer material from X place to Y place, तो एक employee को कितना समय लगता है, एक machine को वो transfer करने में कितना समय लगता है, या वो employee को that worker, how much time the worker is taking to transfer that material from one place to another place. So that time should be recorded. That standard time is to be कैलकुलेटेड. एक प्रॉपर कंडीशन में वो स्टैंडर्ड टाइम दिया है यहाँ पे. इट इज द टेक्निक यूज फॉर फिक्सिंग द स्टैंडर्ड टाइम टू रिक्वायर्ड टू डू अ पर्टिकुलर टास्क अंडर गिवन सिचुएशन. कि एक पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन में एक पर्टिकुलर टास्क करने को कितना स्टैंडर्ड टाइम लगता है, दैट शुड बी कैलकुलेटेड टू कंट्रोल द efficiency of employee and to control the cost, means to measure the efficiency of the employee and to control the cost of the work. So that should be done. Second is method study. यानी जैसे हम लोग यहाँ पढ़ रहे हैं कि वर्क स्टडी में पहला वर्क स्टडी में पॉइंट आता है टाइम स्टडी. आफ्टर टाइम स्टडी नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज मेथड स्टडी. A method should be properly studied. Like for performing any task, there are various methods. अलग-अलग methods रहती है to complete a particular task. For best quality and effectiveness of the cost, एक क्वालिटी वर्क के लिए और रिडक्शन इन द कॉस्ट के लिए वी हैव टू सिलेक्ट द बेस्ट मेथड ऑफ कंप्लीटिंग द जॉब और कंप्लीटिंग द टास्क. सो दैट शुड बी ऑब्जर्व. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज मेथड स्टडी. कि किसी भी जॉब को कंप्लीट करने के लिए देयर आर डिफरेंट मेथड्स आर अवेलेबल. वी हैव गॉट डिफरेंट ऑप्शंस. तो उसमें से बेस्ट पॉसिबल मेथड हमको सिलेक्ट करनी है व्हिच विल रिड्यूस द कॉस्ट एंड व्हिच विल इंक्रीज द एफिशिएंसी of the worker also, which will reduce the wastage of time, wastage of raw material, and finally it will help in maximum utilization of the resources, which will help to achieve the objective of the organization. It is helpful in determining the methods for handling the raw material, transportation, inspection, storage, etc. So method study is nothing but studying the method to complete the particular job and defining the method which is cost effective. Motion study. The study is required for motion means movement of the employees as well as machine या जो employees है उनका जो motion है, moving है, that study is called as motion study. It is helpful in eliminating the unnecessary motion or finding the best method of doing a particular job. कि suppose motion is there, टेक्निक या फिर एम्प्लॉय का मोशन है फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर प्लेस, दैट स्टडी शुड बी डन. वी हैव टू एलिमिनेट द unnecessary motion so that it will reduce the time for the production. जो भी production time है, working time है, that will be reduced. Motion technique is used to know whether some element of the job can be eliminated. Their sequence can be changed from smooth flow of task. यानी हम एक proper sequence establish कर सकते हैं. We can reduce or eliminate the unnecessary job or unnecessary elements in the job, unnecessary steps in the job, so that we can make the process smooth and efficient. So motion study is another part of work study. And last one is fatigue study. Fatigue study का मतलब है generally long working hours, ये भी हमको करना है scientific management में कि the time taken to complete a work, so the time should be proper, it should be appropriate, sufficient break should be given to the employees. If working hours are very long, it will create fatigue. Fatigue मतलब एक laziness या efficiency कहीं ना कहीं efficiency जो है was converted into inefficiency, or working efficiency will be reduced of the employee. So that's why sufficient breaks must be given. नहीं रहने चाहिए, heavy working tools नहीं रहने चाहिए, poor working conditions नहीं रहनी चाहिए. Like suppose classroom में हम बैठे class ले रहे हैं, but there is no ventilation or no proper facility, fan is not there, light facility is not there. In that case, working efficiency of the employee will be reduced definitely. So the fatigue study, what it will do, it will reduce the level of fatigue, and it will maintain the operational efficiency of the employees. So these are the 4 studies given in work study. So in technique of scientific management, first part, that is the major technique, is work study. And in work study there are 4 parts, that is time study, method study, motion study, and fatigue study. So these are the 4 study we discuss in work study. Now second point, standardization of tools and equipments. जो भी tools and equipments है production के लिए हम use कर रहे हैं, Taylor has advocated that the tools and techniques should be standardized, so that it will increase the production efficiency, productivity increase होगी, and because of that it will improve the working environment as well. It will reduce the wastage of material, reduce the cost of production, fatigue is also reduced amongst the worker, and it improves the quality of the work. मतलब अगर हम standardize और tools और equipments use करते हैं organization में, तो definitely it will reduce the cost of production. Workers का fatigue भी कम होता है कि हम बहुत जो वर्क कर रहे हैं ऑटोमेटेड वे से न करते हुए कुछ लेंदी और ट्रेडिशनल वे से कर रहे हैं, तो इन दैट केस fatigue was created amongst the worker and efficiency will be reduced. So standardization of tools and techniques is another technique of scientific management. Next, scientific task setting. Taylor emphasized the need for fixing fair day work. मतलब जो भी वर्क जो दिया जाता है, टास्क दिया जाता है to the employees, proper or fair work should be given to the employees. Setting it is to prevent the employees from doing work much below their capacity. बहुत below the capacity भी नहीं होना चाहिए, over the capacity work should not be there. So scientific task setting should be there. अगर underutilized है employees, तो definitely the cost will increase. So proper utilization of workforce should be there. Employees जो भी है organization के, उनका proper utilization होना चाहिए. There should not be underutilization or overutilization. बहुत ज़्यादा अगर work दे रहे हो, तो it will reduce the efficiency of the employees. Health problems will be created. Overloaded भी नहीं होना चाहिए, overwork setting भी नहीं होनी चाहिए, ना कि underutilization of employees हो. Underutilization अगर होता है, तो in that case it will increase the cost of the production and ultimately reduce the profitability. Scientific selection and training. Management can select the right person for the right job. Scientific selection होना चाहिए. If you are selecting right person for right job, definitely you can achieve the objective of the organization, and we can increase the efficiency of the organization. जो भी organization की efficiency है वो increase होगी. After selection also proper training should be provided to the employees. अगर वो efficiency हमको improve करनी है, तो time by time after selection also we have to provide the training to the employees. So scientific selection and scientific training should be provided to the employees. This is another technique of scientific management. Functional organization, in this concept of Taylor, planning is separated from implementation. प्लानिंग जो है ये इम्प्लीमेंटेशन से अलग रहना चाहिए. Planning part should be done by some other person. Implementation part should be done by some other peoples. That means planning is done by different people and actual work is supervised by different people. It will help the worker will be supervised by two different set of supervisors. ये कैसे होगा कि वर्कर जो है इसका डबल सुपरविजन हो जाएगा from planning team and from the supervisors team. So functional organization must be there. This is another technique. And the next one is, जैसे कि हमने देखा कि it is bifurcated in two parts, that is planning and implementation. So in planning, it is at planning level, route clerk is there, instruction clerk is there, time and cost clerk is there, discipline is there. So route clerk tells how work moves from one machine to other. Instruction clerk records instruction to complete the work. Time and cost clerk determines the time in which work should be completed and work out the cost. Time और cost clerk क्या करता है? Time और cost को work out करता है. Discipline ensures the workers are working as per the factory rules. So ये planning level पे होना चाहिए. And implementation level पे होना चाहिए gang boss, that is actually get the work done. Speed boss ensures the completion of work during specific time. Gang boss क्या करता है? Actually gets the work done. Work complete होना चाहिए. Speed boss क्या करेगा? He will ensure that the work is completed in specified time. Repair boss handles security and maintenance mechanism. Security point of view, maintenance point of view, repair boss will work. And inspector ensures that the work is done as per the specified standard. Inspector will do the inspection whether the work is given completed as per the standards. So the work is done at two levels. जैसे कि हमने डिस्कस किया in point number 5, that is functional organization. Functional organization means at planning level and at implementation level. At planning level है route clerk, instruction clerk, time and cost clerk and discipline. Whereas at implementation level we studied gang boss, speed boss, repair boss and inspector. And the last, that is the last technique of scientific management, differential piece rate wage plan. Differential piece rate wage plan means remuneration should be fixed in such a way that the worker should be motivated to attain standard output. जो भी wages हम देते हैं employees को या workers को, it should be decided in such a way that the worker should be motivated to do better, to give the higher production, or they will be encouraged for more production. Taylor suggested in his scientific management technique that the different piece wage rate system should be adopted. जो wage rate system है, wage plan है, वो कैसा रहना चाहिए? Differential piece wage rate means more wages should be given for more work. Means if somebody is performing good, performing above the standard, in that case such employees, such workers should be paid more, whereas those who are performing below the standard, in that case less wages should be given to such workers. So this technique motivates the employee to attain higher standard performance and earn wages. So that is remuneration at higher rate. इसलिए बोला गया है as per this technique more wages should be given if particular employee is performing above the standard, and if particular employee is performing below the standard, in that case lower rate of wages should be given. So different piece rate wage plan should be there, which is given by Taylor. So these are the 6 techniques of scientific management which we studied. Once again I will discuss. We will see the techniques of scientific management. First one is work study. In work study we studied time study, method study, motion study, fatigue study. Then standardization of tools and equipments, second point. Third technique is scientific task setting. Fourth is scientific selection and training. Fifth one is functional organization. Functional organization at planning level and at implementation level. And the last technique of scientific management is differential piece rate wage plan. So here we completed all the principles of management and the theories of management. Thank you very much for inviting me for this session, that is principles of management. I am very much thankful to management of the organization, respected principal sir, and then Kiran madam for inviting me for this session. I hope in near future we will again meet for such kind of sessions, for such kind of interaction. This is very good interaction between us. Thank you for inviting me for this session. Thank you very much. If you have any query, you can contact me on the mail ID which is mentioned over here. So I hope you understood this concept what we discussed today. Thank you, madam, for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. On the behalf of GS College of Commerce, our principal, sir, supervisor, sir, and the entire committee, I am very heartily gratitude to our today's speaker, Dr. Ram, sir, for sharing their graceful word with us in today's meeting. Thank you, sir, for paying your knowledge and valuable time. I am thankful to all the students for attending this meeting. I'm sure that our college will continue to get significant provision from the diverse group in the future. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.